All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mr. Delaney.
Good morning. We are going to
Good morning.
start off with our lesson today. So let me share my screen. Good morning. Good morning. So what we are going to talk about today is we are going to talk about balance. All right, and what that means in art. So let me present this slideshow to you. So does anybody have any idea balance in art? What would you think that might mean?
Symmetry?
Symmetry. Very good. Yes, absolutely. Symmetry within the piece of artwork, right? So one of the three types of balance, yes, is symmetry. So guys, symmetry means if I draw a line right down the middle of this picture, it is going to be the same on each side. It's going to be the same exact thing. So here are a few examples of some more symmetrical artwork. If I draw a line down the middle of this piece, the two birds are exactly the same on each side, as well, guys, as this portrait over here by Chuck Close. Now, the thing about faces is they're almost perfectly symmetrical, like they're all lined up, right? But they're not exactly symmetrical. You've seen that where you take a mirror image of one side of your face. It's a little bit different, right? So the next type is asymmetrical. Now, asymmetrical is a little tricky and hard to spot all the time because it's not as easy to see as like a symmetrical one, right? You see that they're the same on both sides. That's easy to spot. But asymmetrical, a little bit different. So if I draw a line down the middle here, they're not the same on each side, right? But you can see that this is balanced, right? So it's all about that balance. This bigger person is the same as these three smaller people. So let me show you just some examples so this one makes a little bit more sense. So over here we have this landscape portrait of the camels and their buildings up here, right? So 3 buildings and 6 camels, right? 2 camels for each building. It kind of evens out, right? So can anybody tell me maybe what they think about the Starry Night? You guys seen this picture before. Starry Night, how do we think this is asymmetrical?
I think it's asymmetrical because on one side it shows a city, and on the other it shows that little pointy thing.
Right? Yeah, is a tree, believe it or not. I know it looks like a bunch of things, but yeah, it's a tree that comes up and it's evened out with the city, yes. And also what helps a little bit is that moon up in the corner. But you're totally right. It's able to have that teeter-totter be level and not be totally empty on one side and have everything off to the other side. Right, so that is asymmetrical. Now, guys, radial. This is the last one of the three. Radial is going to be where it is the same on all sides. So if I draw a line through the middle, right down through the middle, across every single way, it is going to be the same on each side, mirror images on each side. So let's go through some examples of this. All right. So with these two pieces of art, you can see if I draw that line down the middle, both of the sides are going to have like they'll have 3 and then 2 halves of an arrow, right? They're all going to have that no matter where I draw my line. So the same thing with this piece of art with the butterflies. And it's also, I think you guys may have seen this kind of artwork before. If you see any optical illusions, do you know that one where it makes you feel like they're moving? That's all radial art. So that is the 3 types of radial art. Now I want to talk a little bit more about, that was the 3 types of balance. I want to talk more about this radial balance though. There is a specific type and it's called a mandala. A mandala is Sanskrit word for circle. So it makes sense, right? In the Buddhist religion, a mandala is meant for the balance of mind and body. So people find mandalas really relaxing to make and create. So guys, here is a mandala right here. So we can see this picture. Now, you can't see it. So what do we think this is made out of? What does that look like it's made out of?
Puzzle pieces?
What's that?
Puzzle pieces?
Puzzle pieces? Okay.
It looked like they used a kaleidoscope to draw
Like a kaleidoscope is pretty close. That is pretty close. Anybody else have any guesses what this could be made out of? What is the medium of this? What is it made out of?
It looked like it's like a rug.
Like a rug almost, right?
Yeah.
So guys, this is made out of sand. This is colored sand. And it's part of I'll drop this down right here. It's made out of colored sand by a group of Tibetan monks. They worked together for just about a week on this to make this. It could be a group of 4 to 5 of them working to make these patterns, and it's part of a different ceremony. All right, so what I would like to do is I would like to show you guys a video here on mandalas, going more over how they're made and also showing you how it relates to the radial balance again, okay? So 1 second here. I will show you just have to share this.
I have a question.
Yes, absolutely.
For a piece of art to be symmetrical, does it have to have the same color and shape or just shape?
So the colors you also want to be spot on. You want them to be the same as well on each side. So that's the symmetrical, and that's the line down the middle where it's the same on both sides, but that also kind of goes for radial. You want the colors to be the same so they mirror each other, right? So let's take a look at this quick video about mandalas and how it relates to radial balance.
Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about what is a mandala. A mandala is a design made of repeating shapes and lines that go around in a circle. The word mandala means circle in Sanskrit, which is an ancient Indian language. Mandalas are symbols used in many different religions, including Hinduism and Buddhism. Today, we'll be looking at the art of mandala sand painting with Tibetan Buddhist monks. It's a long process where they first start out by measuring and carefully drawing the detailed design of the mandala, and you can see they're working together as a team. They use a tool called a chakpur, which is a metal funnel used to tap in the sand. And then the monks work together to pour different colored sand in a radial design or circle design to make the mandala. The sand mandalas usually are very large, around 5 feet by 5 feet, and they typically take around 3 to 5 days to finish. So you can see how much work they put into creating the mandala. When the mandala is complete, it's used in many different ceremonies. As a part of the ceremony, the sand is then brushed away and returned to the river where the water carries the sand far and wide. Now we're going to learn about a very important vocabulary word when we're talking about mandalas, and that's radial symmetry. A mandala is made using a design that has radial symmetry. Radial symmetry means that the design starts in the middle and goes around in a circle, making it the same on all sides. Let's look at this slice of orange as an example. If you were to put an imaginary line through it, both pieces on either side of the line would be the same. With radial symmetry, it doesn't matter where you put that line because anywhere you put it, all sides end up being the same. If we look at a snowflake, it also has radial symmetry because all sides would end up being the same if you put in those imaginary lines. I like to think of radial symmetry like a perfectly cut pizza slice. If you can put those imaginary lines in and cut it into perfectly even pizza slices, then it has radial symmetry.
All right, everybody. So that is a little bit about radial symmetry and the mandalas once again. So hold on and let me go to our next video. So what I wanted to show you in the next video is them actually making the mandalas and how they do it and why they do it. So what we saw last time is a little bit about them. It was a little bit about them maybe erasing, and then they pour the sand into the river, the stream. So this is a little bit more about why they make these mandalas. So let me share my screen once more.
Can the mandalas be squares too? Because in the video it showed pictures of a mandala being in a square.
So they are typically in circles. So they're even on each side. They may have squares within the circle, but they're typically made in circles.
I have a question.
Yes,
Why can't it be in any type of shape?
so that's a good question. So, for instance, if it was in a triangle, if I drew any way down a triangle, it wouldn't be the same, right? So, for instance, if I have a triangle here, right? If I draw a line right down the middle, it's going to be the same, right? But if I draw a line like here, this side, which is side number 1, and this side, side number 2, they're not going to be the same. I'll zoom in a little bit for you guys. So if I draw a line down the middle, they are the same on this side and this side. But if I draw this line down this middle, this side over here is not going to equal this side over here, so it can't be symmetrical, right? So guys, let me show you this one more video on the mandalas and why they make them. So one second, I'm going to share the screen.
Mr. Delaney, can you check my message I sent you?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. Watch this video and I'll answer it in just a second.
I almost felt like I was listening to crickets, kind of meditative and prayerful.
They have been working on this sand painting for 6 days. So they put a lot of hard work and effort.
And the rest of the geometry, so you know how they had all the shapes?
All the color pattern and design, they have to memorize. We are doing everything according to the scriptures.
When I walked into work, I saw them setting up. I took a few pictures each day, and I saw the center be created.
But at the end, it will be destroyed and dismantled. To symbolize the impermanence of all the phenomena.
There's a beginning and an end.
That nothing lasts forever.
And there's no attachment to the actual thing. It's kind of like when we moved from one home to the other, right? What happened? We had a wonderful time in the old place, and now we moved, and we started a new place, right?
I don't feel too sad, just a little.
You step back and you move on. That's just life.
Yes, awesome, guys. Yeah, you guys are answering your own question. Yeah, they pour it back into the water as part of their ceremony.
I have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why do they scratch the little pencil instead of just pouring it?
So they're using sticks of sand that they scrape against the funnel,
Yeah,
and then
but
it funnels out.
but I was wondering why didn't it just pour it instead of scraping it?
Yeah, I think it's part of their method and how they use it. But it comes out, the end is a little funnel there, right at the end.
Okay.
So guys, let me show you how we're going to create our own mandalas on this website, okay?
Excuse me, Mr. Delaney.
Yes.
Do they